Hello, Brian Braddock again with SC Keys, where we're transforming real estate one key at a time. And when you say transforming real estate, you're like, Brian, what are you talking about? Well, I'm sitting here on an airport runway. 42-acre piece of property, Dillon, South Carolina, right at the interstate. The interstate's not too far away. Well, this airport, it was commissioned like in the 50s, and it's 3,000 feet long. And the runway isn't conducive to be used in today's aeronautics. It would need to be expanded to 5,000 feet, really 8,000 feet, but it's buffered by wetlands in the back and then by a major roadway in the front. So it had lost its value. And it was brought to my attention by a guy named Rodney Berry, which y'all will meet in this episode as well. Rodney's the Economic Development Director for Dillon County, and he said, Brian, the county's looking to sell the airport, and they're doing a sealed bid process for it. And you know, when he said that, he said, do you know anybody be interested? When I brought the idea of using that runway for a housing development, because Dillon has not had a lot of housing growth. Right. You know, really at the bottom, you know, and people don't like to speculate with housing. They pretty much look at where houses are being built and then they go there. But when I brought that idea to you and you took it to folks, what was the initial response?
So it was, people were very excited about it. You know, one of the things that I've really harped on, and especially in small rural South Carolina, Florence don't experience this, Horry County, we're nestled in between. But, you know, the census shows every year that we're declining in population, and that is something that should alert everyone for countless reasons. But number one, the whole point of economic development is to drive your tax base up without turning it over to the citizens to pay for it.
Right.
That's what a house does. I mean, economic development does it, but housing does it. When you tax the house and the 2.5 cars that's in there, that's how we come up with our revenue. And the fact that we were declining, you know, in census with our population really alerted me. So one of our focus quickly became housing and trying to partner with a developer to make this happen. And it's good for everybody. So I'm extremely excited when, you know, you kind of hinted to me that you were going to kind of dabble in that field. So, and we remain excited.
What will that do for the city in terms of having that housing, that new housing, connecting to the interstate, really the interstate connecting people to the city and to downtown?
Right.
Really.
Well, as the city of Dillon and really Dillon County grows, of course, we've got our inland port right outside of town here, and we've got the interstate and the railroad. And we are getting a lot of looks by different industries and different avenues like that are coming in to do business in Dillon. And as those guys come in, there's always a need, especially for their workforce, that they need a place to stay. We need workforce housing, we need executive housing, and of course we want to be the city that they come to. You know, we are the county seat. This is logically where you know, they're established here in Dillon, so we want them to be able to live and go to church, go to school, and have their entertainment, eat, dine, shop. We want it all to be right here in Dillon. So it's vitally important to us to have new housing developments. And as far as the annexation goes, I think any city out there would be willing or would want to annex in something like that. Of course, you have the tax base, but not only that, it's the quality of life. You know, we can provide police protection, fire protection, and of course, water and sewer would have to be a discussion that we would have to. Of course, small municipalities.
Yeah, I told the mayor that I wouldn't put him on the hook to give us free water, free infrastructure, lift stations, all that stuff. But you know, having the ability to expand, you know, having city water and city sewer is huge.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
You know, because that's for development, that's a game changer in terms of density, in terms of just the quality of the water, the thing, and that's what people are looking for. So we've talked a lot about the runway aspect of this project, utilizing the runway for the road for the housing. But another part of this project is that Dillon County has 120 acres back here at the end of the runway, which was the reason that they couldn't expand the runway because of the wetlands, to protect the wetlands. So, you know, I was thinking, how can you get into a wetland area without impacting the wetlands? Well, this tree canopy right here, putting zip lines up here, we're going to open up this whole area to folks where they'll be able to come in like the airplanes, and they'll be zipping through and get to see the deer, get to see all the life, all the vegetation, and really open up an area that had been lost to the community by creating a path where they don't have to worry about what boots that they're wearing. So the company that we're looking to partner with for the zipline course is American Adventures. Mike and Donna Holder, I met them about 4 years ago when I was at the House of Hope, which is a homeless organization in Florence, South Carolina, which is a neighboring community to Dillon. What I first noticed about Mike and Donna Holder is their enthusiasm. Here these folks are in their 60s and they were just so enthusiastic, but also their innovation. So they hold all these patents, and when you hook onto their zipline system with your carabiner, you never detach from the zipline again. So when you see these big, beautiful trees right here, you're like, well, why would you want to put a structure or you know, impede the growth of a tree if you're trying to bring people to nature? Well, they have an awesome, innovative system where they put the decks on the trees, but as the tree grows, each year they loosen the strappings around these trees. And so therefore you don't have, as you've probably seen, where people would put a chain or a rope around the tree and that tree like ends up being really choked out, or the rope just becomes embedded in the tree. Each year they expand that out. So we're going to utilize these big, beautiful southern pine trees to put the zip lines, and they'll be 20, 30 feet in the air, which is going to give just a great overview of this whole area, which, like I say, has been an area that the general public hasn't even had access to. The municipality has 120 acres of land, wetlands that's been turned into a trash dump. They give it to a private entity, SC Keys, with the contractual agreement that I will invest $500,000 into an outdoor adventure area. I go to South Carolina Tourism, apply for a grant, and they're going to give me a grant for $500,000 to $1 million in order to bring the motorized vehicles, the four-wheelers, the zip lines, and then introduce the community and bring back, restore this beautiful, pristine lake area that has become a dump. And that is when the PPP works. You take something with no value to the community, you bring in a private individual, a private investor, they take a risk, and who benefits? The community. I can't wait to come out here and show y'all people ziplining and a little deck and a picnic area where you can actually walk out to the water and see the ducks and the wildlife. This is the win-win-win that we're looking for at SC Keys, that we want to show y'all how we did it so you can do the same in your hometown community as well.